Good morning, everybody. Very happy to be here after quite bumpy way yesterday. And as Annie said, after COVID and everything what was happening in 2 years, it's really enthusiastic to be on face-to-face event and to share our experience and our views when it comes to the programmable network. One thing I would like to add only for the clarity reasons. I am from Telefonica, Germany. So which means that everything what I'm going to speak about is actually the way how we think and what we are doing in the OpCos, in the part of the Telefonica group, of course, which is responsible for the German operation. Yeah? And yeah, of course, like every good structured presentation, which is, first I would like to start why we need programmable networks, what is it about, and then how we are going to do it, yeah? And as a teaser for all of you, would like to remind you, maybe you already saw at least right side of the slide, right side from my side. So GSMA in the Mobile Congress in this year done a little bit survey between our CEOs and our leaders. And you can see that the outcome of the survey is extraordinarily interesting, because majority of our leaders believes that we as industry are facing dramatical disruption. And even more of them thinks that this disruption is going to be even more in the future. So the cycles are going to be faster and more disruptive. On the left side, or at least on my left side, what you can see is what is driving this disruption. And one of the most important things is the customer behavior. So only in 2006, it took 18 months for Google Translator to reach 100 million customers. And you can see that now in 2022, for the ChatGPT, it was much less. 97% less time was needed in order to reach 100 customers, which means that customers are adapting attractive and good services extremely fast. Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. Then what we as a telco industry used to do and how we address that disruption in the past. We are saying, usually in this time of the year, and I've been in the industry around 27 years, we are saying we need more CapEx to invest, and when we have enough CapEx to invest, then the next year the revenue will come. And that's not reality. The reality is that actually we are taking, according to the TM Forum data, very small piece of the cake which is available, if we continue to invest only in the connectivity. And what we need to do and where we need to rethink is actually not only our strategy, but also our operating model, if ambition is to have sustainable revenue and EBITDA growth or profitability growth. So not only shifting the strategy is needed, but we also need to reinvent the way how we operate. And then all together came that actually we need to move from so-called spaghetti way of doing business, or the way how we used to do it in the past, with vertically integrated technologies into something which is horizontally layered ecosystem, which will allow us to implement new use cases, new business model and propositions on very effective way. And that's something which I believe is in industry for quite some time, and all of us are looking into it on the best possible way to achieve it. Now, what we do in Telefonica. And prior go to this slide, actually I would like to share with you our core beliefs, which are helping us to reinvent ourselves, our operating model, but as well our strategy. So we do believe that connectivity is and going to be the most important enabler for the new use cases. Yeah? However, we do believe this is not enough. We do need to create the ecosystem of the partners with whom we can, on an effective way, create end-to-end solutions. And when I talk about the partners, I would like to emphasize that it's existing partners, which we already have ecosystem, but we need to look into new partners and partnerships, like, for example, developer groups and the teams. The third pillar is about scalability. Whatever we do, we would like to scale successfully by providing our capabilities as a standardized building blocks. And all these building blocks, according to our view, needs to be reusable, accessible, and provisioned automatically. I will talk today a lot about openness, and my personal core belief and commitment is that we as industry can move and can reinvent ourselves only if we rely on open, flexible, and extensible platforms which are exposing all of our capabilities on the standardized API way. Name it TM Forum, name it Camara, but if we fail in this openness towards the rest of the ecosystems, then we are not going to be able to reach a significant and critical mass of the customers which we are intending to. And with that, we will be ready for implementing quickly new business models and new use cases which are emerging out of the technologies which we are aiming to have. And now going back to the previous slide, we in 2021 built technology strategy which we are currently implementing, which is going to help us to reinvent not only the way how we are operating, but also the way how we are supporting or enabling our customers. And if we go to this strategy, on the first, everything starts with the people. One wise man said that if you have a great strategy, but you don't have a culture and people in place, then this strategy is eaten for the breakfast. So we are actually currently working very hard in order to further develop and empower people and the culture in our company. Then the second pillar is regarding automated operations and security, where, of course, we are focusing to reach as close as possible zero-touch operation, but in the same time ensure that we are ready for the current but the future challenges in the cybersecurity world. We all know that using on the secure and GDPR compliant way the data which we have in our ecosystem is key for our success. So the part of our strategy is also to ensure that we do have state-of-the-art, future-proof data platforms who are enabling data democratization for all users in the company. Our target is to have 95% of all decisions based on the data provision through this data platform. Then it's about scalable platforms and services. So we are looking in network and IT as a service. For us, this is a critical point to be successful on the market because significant, almost 50% of our business is currently depending on the partners. We are one of the biggest MVNO providers or supporting of MVNOs in Germany. Yeah? So as meaning that currently around 16 different brands are having partnership and providing services to their end customers through our network and through our IT systems. So ability to provide network and IT as a service is a key for us as a success. And it's of course about cloudification and enabling edge computing in our technology landscape. Modern IT landscape is something which I think is on the mind of each telco operator. We are currently running transformation, IT transformation called RIGHT, Radical Architecture and IT Transformation, aiming to, until 2026, to have fully public cloud-based BSS system who will support more than 50 million customers. And last but not least, as I mentioned, it is about customer-oriented network, and where we are looking how to provide appropriate connectivity to all customers groups which we have. And so now, since we went through the strategy and our core beliefs, let us show where we are right now. And this is some of the successes, focusing primarily on the programmable networks, which I wanted to share with you. So what you can see in the slide is that when it comes to the cloudification, and we do have public cloud first strategy, and we do have already today in the public cloud more new BSS system, and a majority of the IT applications are running from one of the hyperscalers. We are following the same way for the network services, and as we speak, we are implementing package core and SDM on the public cloud together with the 5G. We were the first one in Europe who were implementing Open RAN intelligent controller, and we do have already some base stations in the production. We are the first worldwide implementation on Amazon for the Cisco NSO SDN controller, and as I already said, we find network as a service as a group critical for transforming us as operator. Therefore, we are the part of so-called Open Gateway initiative of GSMA, where we were already launching 3 APIs for the developers in order to support opening telco technology ecosystems for the new use cases. And what are the learnings, what we gain on this path? Yeah. I would start with one which I personally believe is a key for the success, and that is about simplicity and simplification. We cannot embark on this path if we are not simplifying, retiring the history, what we have in our technology landscape. I belong to the operation who is 25 years old. My mother company, Telefonica, will next year celebrate 100th anniversary. And what is extremely important and sometimes overlooked is that we need to have very proper focus on retiring old legacy technologies, services, and the products. We as telco industry are not so good in that. In Telefonica Germany, I would like to emphasize that we managed in the end of the last year to sunset 3G network. I think we are among the first in Europe who did it, and currently we are looking how to do the 2G as well. So softwarization of the technology landscape in the telco industry cannot happen if we are not retiring the solutions which was in the operation 50 years ago. The second point I will re-emphasize once again, it's about the skills, people, and culture. Yeah? It is what we do in Telefonica, and what has to be done is we are looking in attracting new talents, but we are also intensively reskilling our employees in order to be ready for the future. Which means that last year, for example, we ran a TM Forum, massive education on the TM Forum tools and frameworks in the organization. We are constantly running the cloudification trainings with all 3 hyperscalers in order to ensure that we do have a critical mass of the people who understand digital world, who embrace the new ways of working and who is ready to support us on this journey. What is not on the slide but would like to emphasize as well as a big learning from us and from the status where we are today is that in this transformation we need to take in account that our existing partners with whom we are developed the business in the past has to transform as well. And we need, when we are transforming ourselves, we need to ensure that our major providers or partners, Nokia's, Ericsson's, etc., are having the same transformation vision when it comes to softwarization, and they are also ensuring that their teams and products are sufficiently embracing on that vision and ready to support us on the path what we would like to have. And last but not least is about regulatory. We are currently very much engaged. It was already mentioned by Annie that if we go through this path of transforming us and our business, it's important that we are having constant dialogue with regulatory offices, ensuring that on the end, if I go back to my second slide, that if we would like to increase the part of the cake what we are getting, we need to get the support of the regulatory regulatory bodies in order to get sustainable growth. Yeah, so that was all from my side. And
thank you, Eva. So, have we questions? Have we any questions? And have you person I asked that's in the microphone? Thank you. Go ahead. Move it out the way.
Eva, thank you very much for all that, the insights from Telefonica. In the audience, it's easy to think about things as people come up with new ideas. I was just thinking of how the hyperscalers have been shedding, getting rid of lots of staff in big numbers. BT also radically saying they're going to get rid of, I think it's 50,000 people in the next 5 years, like 1/3 of their employees. Do you see, related to your strategy, the shedding, getting rid of staff, is the strategy to become profitable, or is it to reskill people and redeploy them because of automation, you will be able to achieve efficiencies that they don't have to be operationally involved as much? So what is your strategy around using the human capital?
So our current strategy is reskilling. Yeah? So there is one very small portion of the people whom we are thinking of offering special packages because they are end to the retirement. Yeah? But I think this is in every industry, and it's really neglectable percentage. The rest of the teams, what we have is actually the reskilling, which I said the company and our CTIO and the whole technology management is very much focused on. Yeah? So we do not have a problem with the headcount reduction in order to be more profitable right now.
Anyone else? There's a gentleman that you're just getting a workout here, Tess.
I am. That's good, isn't it?
Is that on purpose?
I think he did.
Okay. Thank you for the presentation. My name is Patrick Rokita, Titanium Platform. You mentioned that there will be the need, or there's the plan to migrate legacy systems to the next generation stack. And we see the sunset of the 2G, 3G network happening across the globe. It will happen for the next decade, yeah. And you still need to support outbound roamers, no? In countries they don't have 4G, 5G coverage. So you need to have some small footprint or some footprint of 2G, 3G in your home network, even you have abolished the associated services. And the question is, do you plan to move these legacy systems to cloud native for the duration of the transition period, which can be 2, 3, 8 years? Or do you keep them as they are, untouched, with maintenance modes?
Yeah. So for the 3G, as I mentioned, we sunsetted. It was finished. Yeah? We don't have 3G. Base stations are demounted. It was on the end of 2022 what we finalized. When it comes to the 2G, we are currently looking into it, and we call it 2G afternoon, where the current plan is to keep 2G, to minimize the 2G on the roaming use case, and we are investigating if there is any solution in the industry which can help us to minimize 2G footprint. Yeah, that's why we call it 2G afternoon. Yeah, what I would like to achieve is that, and which is currently in the discussion, is actually to, although there is a use case with 2G roaming, we are currently evaluating the portion of revenue which is coming and seeing what we could offer for the potential roamers in order as a substitute. Yeah. But in current assumption is that until 2025, we are developing and thinking if until 2025 we can also have 2G afternoon, which means minimize dramatically 2G service. Yeah.
Thank you. Debs, there's a gentleman down here that had a question, please.
Where?
So good job. I think you picked the right foot. Where this gentleman here?
Eva, has Telefonica set any financial objectives to be achieved through this strategy, both in revenue and profit terms, and how much they're going to invest in it?
There's, of course, we are getting this on every 3 years. Yeah. So as I already mentioned, usually in this part of the year, this is what we start to do. Yes, we are achieving the goals, financial goals, which was given to us. And we are outperforming the German market in the revenue growth.
Right. Excellent. Eva, I've got one question, please. Oh, sorry, no, you get first in. The audience get first go.
Eva, thank you again. I think ORAN is a topic, and I almost believe ORAN is a faith in that sense. You believe in it or you don't. Where are you on that? Are you a believer?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we were the first one who ran it as per my knowledge in Europe, but maybe in Germany for sure, yeah? And what this first implementation which was done in the several sites revealed to us is that there is a difference between greenfield and brownfield operation in using RAN, yeah? So greenfield like Geo and Rakuten, they have a great experience, and probably all of us are aware of that. But when it comes to the brownfield operation like we are, we find out that at least that was in the last year findings that it's still not bringing the all benefit which we were counting. Yeah, when I'm stating that, it's in several dimensions. It's about functionalities, it's about stability, and it's also about TCO and the cost of integration. Yeah? Therefore, we are focusing right now together with our competitors, Vodafone and Deutsche Telekom. We are running some laboratory work in order to address these things, because all three of us are the brownfield. And with that one, I am personally the believer. However, is it going to be this year or the next year? I would not bet today on this. We as a group, just to finish it, we committed that we will have 50% of growth of the growth of radio covered by ORAN. Yeah, that's the commitment which was given.
I'm afraid you're going to have to be the last, sadly.
Can you tell us a little bit about the segmentation strategy from a B2C to B2B to X? Because B2C, there's hardly any growth. And you've shown a chart where most of the B2C is taken over by these technology players. Mm-hmm. What's your strategy on B2C and B2B to X?
So we are in the great position when it comes to B2B, because we start developing it relatively recently, like only 2 years ago. We are kind of challenger, which is giving us opportunity to start with future-proof solutions like SD-WAN, etc. And our strategy for B2B is very aggressive, and we are counting it very much on it when it comes to the developing our commercial financials results. Yeah. When it comes to the B2C, maybe I need to reiterate once again, We are unique operator, I think, in Europe or probably worldwide, where actually we are working very closely with MVNOs and other service providers. So around 50% of our network is used by the customers which are not belonging to us. Yeah. So and here we are, as I mentioned, continuing to streamline this business from the sense that we have network as a service and IT as a service providing to our service partners and MVNOs, and with that one aiming to get even more efficiency in that business. Yeah, and we count and we will continue to develop this leg of the business, B2P we call it, very steady.